All right, we are back with another wrap up, this time of round 11 of the NRL. Now, let's cast our minds back all the way to the first game of the round. Storm versus Broncos, Thursday night. Storm victorious, 24-16. Now, it was a pretty close match. Obviously, losing Adam Reynolds was a massive one for the Broncos, but the Broncos just don't win against the Storm. And honestly, I think this is probably either the first or second time I've actually tipped the Broncos this year. I think it's the first, so I definitely put the Mockers on them. Look, they played well. It was still a close game. They're just yet to beat a big time opponent. Like all their victories this year have come against lesser opponents, and that's not to say that they're not a good team. They're definitely going to be in finals contention this year, but obviously losing who they lost to now. So South and Storm and Raiders, and I mean that was the start of the Raiders' run. So yeah, look, they're missing Adam Reynolds again this week, so it might be a bit tough, but yeah. Look, still some good performances. Reece Walsh looked good. Payne Haas, Thomas Flegler. There's all the controversy about the lock. Jesus, how am I forgetting his name? Carrigan. Patrick Carrigan. How did I just pull a mind blank on that? Yeah, sin bins. Having three sin bins, although the one in the last couple of minutes didn't really make an effect on the game. Was already gone by then. Yeah, like I may tip the Broncos this week again. Hopefully, I don't put the Mockers on them this time. But yeah, Storm looked like a Storm team. They really played like they should play. I think they obviously with over the last couple of weeks, I reckon Bellamy's got right into them, and then I think they were pretty privy to Bellamy staying, and maybe that gave them a nice little uplift on the weekend. But yeah, Storm over the Broncos. Friday night game. Bulldogs Warriors. Definitely tip the Warriors. Warriors second team. Everyone's second team at the minute, I'd say. Um, yeah, and absolutely love SJ. Yeah, crazy talk with the Tigers. Apparently, offering him a deal. Uh, Smart send Benji. Obviously, a player that he's looked up all his career. But yeah, to the game, 24-12. Yeah, Warriors really good. Yeah, the Bulldogs are just not there yet. They might be fighting it out with the Dragons and the Tigers for the spoon this year. Getting Carr back this week's probably going to help. Um, but yeah, young Ronald Volkman scored the last try of the game. Josh Curran had a good game. Fanua Blake is dead set, one of the best front rowers in the competition, week in, week out. He just makes an absolute difference every time he comes on the field. Yeah, and yeah, my man SJ, Matty Burton still trying hard. Harrison Edwards and Ockenball for tries for the Bulldogs, 24-12. The Bulldogs will win some more games this year, but yeah, couldn't get the win there. Warriors with another one. Um, the big game on Friday night was Penrith versus the Roosters. Now I said Panthers on the podcast last week in my tips. Uh, my tipping competition, I picked Roosters. I don't know. I don't know what I did there. But yeah, Panthers look like the Panthers should and haven't looked like all year. I feel like the new combinations are finally starting to click into gear, but you know, I think it's more about what's going on at the Roosters. Like I still think I've tipped them to to win the grand final this year. I still think they can. Like there are a few points off the pace, but there's so many superstars in that team. I think Hutchison's going to come in and play in the halves with Kiri this week, and I think it's actually going to work. I think once you see Joey Manu come back in the Origin, he'll play fullback, cover Teddy, and then he'll go back into his center role. I still think Manu can work at six, but I think all the successful games that Manu had at six, Kiri wasn't at seven. Kiri was out with one of his head knocks or his ACLs, so he's playing next to a different player. But Trent Robinson always has this thing at the start of the year where he plays around with his team and tinkers stuff. Like the knives are out on Brandon Smith from the media, but I still think you know, like I always say, like football is a job. Like you can't walk into a job, you know, first couple of weeks and be absolute superstar, even if you are really good at what you do. I think the Roosters are still going to be there come September. Panthers, well, they've definitely cracked the whip and just made the competition stand up and take notice. But I think just Cleary, Luai, Yo, just hitting their hitting form just before Origin, so they definitely get picked. Saturday game. Oh, Rabbitohs, Tigers, 20-0. Now, 20-0, it honestly it should have finished 8-0. Like I've heard people say the Rabbitohs were in second gear. Like they just had to defend. Like the Tigers haven't got a lot of arsenal to throw at them, but they were getting repeat sets. Like they were peppering the line. There was just really really good defense from the Rabbitohs. It was first last. Like it should have ended up about 8-0. The last 8 minutes, Rabbitohs with a couple of late tries. Um, Going on the Facebook groups and all that, you know, after every Tigers loss, the knives are out on Brooksy and everyone. But it was really positive for what I saw. You could see that they're actually in the game. Like the Tigers are not far away. Like I think we should bounce back against the Cowboys this week. But yeah, like just everything's clicking at the Rabbitohs, and once again, all these players heading into Origin wanting to hit form. Like yeah, the Rabbitohs are definitely the team to beat this year. Moving on though to the Cowboys versus Dragons. Now I tipped the Dragons. I thought maybe they would just give one last little push to try and save Hook. Apparently not. Yeah, Cowboys were just sort of back and forth for a bit, but they never looked like losing. Townsend had a much better game. Val Holmes, Drinkwater. I think Helam Lukey was probably the Cowboys' best player. Just looked strong. Like I think he's just sort of coming of age. Yeah, just the usual suspects trying their guts out for the Dragons. Just too many missed tackles. Yeah, couldn't win for Ben Hunt. Like poor old Benny Hunt. Like you know what? I'd love the Tigers to pick him up if he's heading out the door now that Hook's gone. But yeah, I can always dream. Maybe that's why they're freeing up some cat space by offloading Offen Gowie to Para. Well, here heard it here first. Wouldn't mind Jack Bird as well. We'll take him as well. Absolutely fantastic year for Jack Bird this year. Raiders, Eels. Oh, just a great win from the Raiders. Five on the trot. Eels without Mitch Moses. Like Dylan Brown stepped up. Gutho's always stepping up. But yeah, just Raiders too strong. 26-18. And what I think, obviously, you know, there's a few in contention for Hudson Young. Should definitely be vaulted for Origin. Corey Horsburgh, hopefully he gets picked in Origin. I didn't see if he got a suspended for that little slap in the face or the little jersey grab or whatever it was during the game. Yeah, Origin players right there. Josh Papali's pulled out of retired from Origin, so he won't get picked. Jack Whiten as well. Maybe the Raiders are just wanting to go, boys. This is our season. Let's all concentrate on getting the Raiders across the line before the whole team gets dismantled. Well, you know, a few players leave this season, so you know, Raiders on the up. And I did say right at the start of the year, like never ever write off a Ricky Stewart team. Um, yeah, they're looking like they're going to be in the finals this year. So maybe you know, their premiership window that closed a couple of years ago. Apparently, maybe it's back. Who knows? They've got a bit of cash to spend as well for some recruitment, so they might come scooping up the Dragons' Exodus players. But yeah, 26-18, good game. Sunday game, Knights versus Titans. Now, Titans have been flying high, getting a few wins. Obviously without AJ Brimson, who I think's easily been their best player this year. But the Knights, wow, just before Origin again. It's so weird how all these players who played in the Origin series last year just step up. Dane Gagai had his best game of the year, and Kalen Ponga. I'm still not convinced of him at a six. you watched his running game and like he can do that at fullback. Yeah, he had a huge game. Everyone's raving about Kalen. Obviously the Knights are going to stick with him at six, but Queensland will play him at one. 46-26. Titans scored 26 points 5 games in a row. Weird. Who's going to put a couple of bucks on Titans and score 26 points this week coming? Who knows? And then we had the Seagulls and Sharks, the last game on Sunday. Now, took Manly. I thought they'd sort of come back. The Sharks haven't looked that convincing, but they got away with a win. Tom Tavoyevich didn't look like his all-star best, but he still ran for 180 meters, took some carries. Croker, tackling machine, like Daly Cherry Evans getting through heaps of work. They're just absolutely every team just knows just run the ball at Daly Cherry Evans, tire him out in defense, and then he's not going to have that much in attack. Um, yeah, just Jake Trbojevic back this week should make a difference, should make a huge difference, and he'll be pushing for an Origin spot. So he's probably going to play out of his socks. The Dolphins had the bye. Yeah, another good round of footy. Hey, come in the comments. Let me know what you think. We'll be back very soon with the tips for round 12. Thank you. Say less. Peace out.